How would you know that something is your purpose? How would you know that something is your purpose? You started to talk a little bit about like if you're in passion and joy and fun, if like you're in that energy, then you're in purpose. But is there anything else that you could share to help somebody navigate through, like, especially at the onset when you're not comfortable surrendering, like, and just being like, all right, well, let it be whatever it's going to be, right? And releasing the outcome. So for somebody who's kind of like a little bit newer to it, how would you like help someone navigate through that maze?
Good question. So much of our purpose is to have a life experience. Like it can really be that simple if someone says, I don't really have a purpose. I'm just here to live. Because ultimately, that is what we're here for. We're having a real experience of an illusion of time, like if you wanted to get into quantum physics, but we're having a real experience, right? Um, so the other thing about that is we all have access to infinite wisdom. We all have access to universal mind, and we all have access to universal consciousness, which is our collective consciousness. That in itself, since we all have access and are a part of universal mind, which is that constant wisdom that it runs through everything in nature, is beautiful to be able to sit and live in that space and to create from. And universal thought is essentially a thought energy that comes and goes all day, every day. You probably have 70,000. I don't know what the number they came up with, but universal thought is a tool to where your ideas come from. That's your higher mind just saying, here's idea, here's idea. But our free will allows us to pull from those ideas and say, here's one I want to take, or here's one that I don't really care about, the pH levels in the soil outside. So I'm not going to really go with that idea. But so another purpose is to use thought in a way that helps us create, because we're creative beings, and to access and notice thought as a tool, not use it inappropriately where we bash ourselves, because a lot of people get into that habit, but also to look at ourselves as a collective consciousness, like I said, that universal consciousness, and say, how can I take the thought ideas that are coming and ground them into this physical reality to help everybody? And what I believe, and in my own experience, is that we don't know what we signed up for because we've forgotten. We've just forgotten because we thought it would be fun to remember. And we really do remember eventually, but our purpose for each of us is going to be different, and it's going to be what's in alignment with those feelings that you're getting when you feel that you are actually creating the highest expression of yourself. You're like, yes, I am these 100 different things and I feel great about it. The problem is that we've been brought up in a factory worker kind of mentality back in 100, 200 years ago, where that was just your job. You work in a factory, you work in a factory. Well, people are multidimensional now, more so. And so we have all these facets of this hologram within us too that are coming to shine through. So there's no language to really define, this is what my purpose is, or we want that because it helps us clarify things and categorize and compartmentalize a little bit more. But in reality, this new breed of human that's awakening is so much more than one label or one title. And again, we're creating the roles that we're making. So we're creating the new careers, we're creating the new jobs, like naturopathic doctor is a term that hasn't been around as popular, I'll at least say, as what in Western medicine, right? So my point is that we're creating these new things. We are the new creators. And so when it comes to your purpose and my purpose, it's going to be something we're actually creating by following those feelings of passion and joy and excitement. And it's going to be a lot bigger than we can imagine, because we are used to those thinking patterns of, let me just put this in a box. I try to put myself in a box all the time. I caught myself doing it again just recently, like trying to, get down on a niche so tiny. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I already feel constricted. So I'm just going to talk about this today, But overall, if you're living in joy and you're listening to yourself, if you can listen to yourself, you're in line with your purpose. If you're expressing yourself to your highest expression, you're living in your purpose. And what is created from that, it depends a lot on our free will and what we're doing for the world.